This episode is made possible by our sponsor, Omega Bright Wellness. I've taken their omega-3 supplements for many years, and so has my wife, and that's why I invited them to sponsor my podcast. I'm proud to have them. You can find all of their products online at omegabrightwellness.com, and bright is intentionally misspelled B-R-I-T-E, omegabrightwellness.com. Hello, this is Dr. Ned Hallowell, and welcome to Distraction. Today we are going to do a mini episode on the topic of what does a coach do and why do you need one? Well, if you're playing baseball, the coach will develop the batting order and give signs as to when to hit and when to steal. And you need one because it's hard to run a baseball team without one. But that's a baseball player. In the world of ADHD, why might you need a coach, and what would that coach do? Well, depends upon who you are and what kind of coach you're looking for. When I came up with the idea of a coach for ADHD back in the early 90s when I was writing Driven to Distraction, it occurred to me that most of these kids, and adults for that matter, didn't need psychotherapy so much. You know, that was the standard clinical intervention when you have an issue that brings you to a mental health professional was you get psychotherapy, which is talking about emotional conflicts in childhood and so on and so forth. And that's really not what people with ADHD needed. So I said to myself, you know, the best model I can think of for what they need is indeed what that baseball player needs. Someone to establish the batting order, someone to tell them when to hit and when to take, so on and so forth. Somebody to help them plan their day, their plan of attack, to have a game plan, to do what a coach does, what a sports coach does. That's what they need with the practical details of life. So that's what a coach does. And why you need one is if you're having trouble doing those things. People with ADHD typically know what they want to do, they just don't do it. And that's where a coach can help you plan, set up a schedule, set up a routine, whatever the structure is that will aid you in achieving what you want to achieve. He or she won't tell you what to do, he'll ask you what you want to get done, and then set up a template, a program to help you get it done. It's very simple, very simple. It's not psychotherapy, and it's not high-level, project management. It's nuts and bolts. When do I brush my teeth? When do I pick up my book bag? When do I hand in my paper? When do I apply for a raise? When do I get a haircut? When do I go to the dry cleaner? When do I have lunch? These are the kinds of things that hang up people with ADHD. And a coach can help you get past that. It's a wonderful intervention, if I do say so myself, since I developed it. But it's now very common. There are thousands and thousands of coaches and books about coaching and institutes on coaching and academies to train coaches. It's taken off, and well it should, because it's a wonderfully, wonderfully helpful intervention. All right, well, that's it for me today. Thank you, as always, to our sponsor, Omega Bright Wellness. Save 20% on your first order with the promo code PODCAST2020 at omegabrightwellness.com. And I'm very happy to share with you the news that my new book, ADHD 2.0, is out now. I wrote it with Dr. John Rady, my colleague and buddy, and we lay out a revolutionary new approach featuring new science and strategies to help people with ADD, ADHD thrive. You can learn more about ADHD 2.0 and order a copy by clicking the link in the show notes or by going to my website at drhallowell.com. That's drhallowell.com. You can also find it wherever books are sold. And please reach out to us with your questions and comments by emailing connect@distractionpodcast.com. Distraction is created by Sounds Great Media Our recording engineer and editor is the wonderfully talented Scott Persson, and our producer is the equally wonderfully talented Sarah Guertin. I'm Dr. Ned Hallowell saying goodbye for now. The episode you just heard was made possible by my good friends at Omega Bright Wellness. I take their supplements every day, and that's why I invited them to sponsor my podcast. Shop online at Omega Bright, and that's BRITE wellness.com.